Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we're looking at X-Men Annual 6 by Claremont and one of my favorite artists ever, Bill Sienkiewicz. It's so cool. Can't wait to show it to you guys. So subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. So this is like so early in my X-Men collecting career, and I was thinking about it, and like I definitely owe like the X-Men and probably Chris Claremont's writing to like my whole love of comic books and what, I was initially drawn to the art. I love the art, but I feel like there had to be something like to keep me coming back and like keep me emotionally invested. And much of that was probably like the X-Men and like Marv Wolfman and George Perez's Teen Titans and, well, a whole host of other books actually, but this is what probably hooked me in. And at this point, I remember being like so blown away by this issue in particular. Like it stood out as something special to me. I'm not sure that I even understood the concept. Like this is like 1982, so I'm not even sure I understood like the concept of like monthly books versus annuals and what the difference was. And so like, but I just knew this was so cool. It had Storm on the cover. I love Storm. Always drawn to her. This art was like so different for me. This is like Bill Sienkiewicz like on the verge of like finding himself as an artist, like totally like just going bonkers like with that New Mutant stuff. Interestingly enough, Bill Sienkiewicz was offered after he left Moon Knight, Claremont wanted him for the X-Men, and he didn't want to have that like responsibility or think he was a good fit, and took the New Mutants instead because he thought he could have more room to experiment with that. But this is still when he's doing more of and he did an issue, I think it was 159 of Uncanny X-Men, which introduced Dracula into the X-Men storyline. I mean, Dracula is part of the Marvel Universe, the Tomb of Dracula, Marv Wolfman, Gene Colan, all that good horror Marvel comics from like the 70s and 80s, I guess. So, he does have like a real role in the X-Men universe in the monthly comic, and it's sort of revisiting it for a more expanded story for this X-Men Annual. And this is probably Bill Sienkiewicz, self-admittedly was like a Neil Adams clone. He did some issues of the Fantastic Four, which I think are very much like more of a Neil Adams clone. It's interesting because I think Bob Wiacek, who is very faithful to artist pencils, I feel, is inking this. And I think it's kind of cool to see that because you're sort of seeing what Bill Sienkiewicz is actually doing at this point versus where he would take it. And you're also sort of seeing where he would take it, but you're seeing a lot of sort of the scratchiness and the line art that you would definitely see as like sort of the texture of a Neil Adams art. And once again, beautiful Storm. I just love the layout of this and the way the logo just, I don't know. It's like the perfect cover. It's gorgeous. And this is so interesting too, because once again, I don't know if they're working like in Marvel style, probably. I know Chris Claremont is very collaborative with his artists and like tries to feed their strengths and let them have fun and let them roll with it and bring as much or as little as they want to the table. And I think he definitely excels with an artist with, good storytelling chops. Someone like Bill Sienkiewicz. I mean, like, how is this not going to be amazing? But you don't really see this two like splash pages back to back, but it's sort of like, since it's a king-size annual, you have more breathing room, I feel, to tell the story, because comics from this era were like super tight. Like, Image sort of broke the mold with like, 2 or 3 panels on a page. And back in the day here, you're usually getting no less than like 6 panels on a page. I feel like 4 was like generous, but there's a lot of beauty to this like Bill Sienkiewicz work. I'm just as much a fan of this as I am like where he would go, because I love seeing his potential. I love seeing like I always feel like, in a way, you have to learn how to do something before you break it. And it's like, I don't think if he didn't know how to draw like more traditionally this way, that he would have as much effect as he does in his sort of bonkers, like, surrealistic approach that we're more used to seeing with his evolution as an artist. Not to say that it's not possible, because I mean, I even know artists who, God knows if they can draw traditionally or not, but I just think that it sort of serves the believability, especially in comic book art, because, you do have a certain responsibility as far as clear storytelling goes. And I don't know, I've never felt lost with like Bill Sienkiewicz's art. Like, he definitely has the chops. And I always thought he drew such a gorgeous Storm. I love it. Like, I feel like he gave her, in the 70s and the 80s, she's very, she's African and she has dark skin, but, she has the blue eyes, she has the white hair. And I feel like Dave Cockrum's interpretation was a little more Caucasian in a lot of ways. Hard to say on John Byrne's, because she's so unique in a sense, like, especially with the white eyes. But I feel like, I don't know, she just looks like, a little more, her features look a little more African American. I feel like the way Bill Sienkiewicz approached it. And maybe it's just because he's drawing like such beautiful detailed faces. I don't know, but like, I feel like it was the first time I kind of noticed it as a reader. And that, oh my God, what a great use of like negative space, and like how haunting is that? Like, I was so mortified. Like, Aurora biting Kitty's neck, my beloved Kitty. She was my absolute favorite, probably coming to the X-Men as a fan. Kitty, Storm, oh God. I always say that, and then I go off and name every single one of them. I'll always lament, like, not having or being able to get this free, send 50 cents to cover postage and get this gorgeous Michael Golden cover. Interesting to note, everyone thinks that Todd McFarlane invented the spaghetti webbing. Michael Golden doing the spaghetti webbing right there, kids. It's so cool. I love this so much for so many reasons. I mean, this is very, very Neil Adams, right, guys? Like, and I love Neil Adams' work. Oh my gosh. I feel like he's one of those artists that I discovered like late in the game. Like, I think I got like his X-Men trade paperback like way, 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 way after the fact. And just like being like, wow, I didn't know that was going on in comics at the time. Like, that was really, I mean, it's easy to see why artists like Sienkiewicz and Byrne were so heavily influenced by Neil Adams. I mean, it's groundbreaking in the way that, Jim Lee or Todd McFarlane was, and, just inspired such a generation of artists at the time. So thank God for Neil Adams, right? I just love, like, I'm going on about Neil Adams, but this is Bill Sienkiewicz, people. He just did such a great job of capturing Storm. It's funny how optical illusions work, and my young mind always saw this as like the side boob of Aurora coming out of her costume, and like, see what I mean? Do you see it? Now you won't be able to unsee it when you read it, but hopefully not. But I just love the storytelling, and I love the use of Zipatone. Like, this is so amazing. Did we say, oh yeah, we did just say that it was Bob Wiacek inking this, correct? Yes, Bob Wiacek. I love him. I feel like he's one of the unsung inkers. He did such a great job winking John Byrne, Paul Smith on the X-Men. I mean, he's definitely one of the legendary comic book and X-Men inkers in my book. Inked a lot of Dave Cockrum. I mean, of course, it's never going to be as good as when a penciler inks themselves, but I just feel like he's super faithful to the pencils of the artist. There were just so many great, like, it's funny because I don't know if I thought it at the time, but I'm instantly thinking, of course, a Black Widow's costume seeing this. Bill Sienkiewicz, are you the one responsible for pouches on costumes? Is this it? Was this where Rob Liefeld got the inspiration? I don't know. Either way, who cares? Like, pouches rock, right? I love, like, and this is very, I feel, evocative of what we will come to see. You know, Bill Sienkiewicz, like, does such great, like, I don't know, landscapes and buildings, and just, like if you look at his Dune adaptation, breathtaking. Just, like, his use of blacks and negative space, and just, like, his storytelling in general. It's just a lot of fun. Like, even then, like, but that's also, once again, I feel like Neil Adams was kind of bringing that to his storytelling, too. Classic comic book storytelling, but amped up a little bit with a twist. Another great zip there. I love that. There's so much power in that. Like, this is just such a great combination. Like, reading, if you haven't read this annual, you guys need to read this. I don't know, find it in a reprint or find it online or just find it. It's such a great story, and it's just like, it just reminds me of how much I love Chris Claremont's writing, and like what a great Storm story this is, and how she speaks exactly how she should speak. She's in perfect character, and these are just like such great versions of the X-Men. And I love the Bill Sienkiewicz art. It is like truly, truly amazing. This has always been one of my favorite issues of the X-Men ever. One of the very early books that I owned, and it will always hold a special place in my heart. Like, I love that version of Wolverine. Colossus looks great. Nightcrawler. Just, like, such a great classic issue. And I love that, too. Smacking his daughter Lilith. And then, sort of a cryptic, creepy end. And that, I don't know, it's just so great. Such a great classic, fun issue of the Uncanny X-Men. King Size Annual number 6 by Claremont, Sienkiewicz, Wiacek. Amazing. Check it out, guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel, hit like, share my content, and I'll bring you more later.